So we're going to look at proportions and how they relate to percentages. Now, we should note that percentages are another way of writing fractions. So I introduced it the last time with the percent equation that we can make percent proportions. And that the amount over the base will equal the percent divided by 100. So we can say A equals B equals P over 100. Now I didn't write the over the 100 because when I see a percent, I convert it back. So for example, if I get an answer of 0.68 for my P, I go, oh, well, I'm going to turn that into 1 to 68%. And that's what this over 100 does. So we can make a proportional representation of a percent. So I can have 35% of what number is 28. So here's my percent. Here's my base, because the base comes after the of, and here's my amount. So if I put this into a proportion, I have 28, my amount, over my base, which is unknown, equals 35 over 100. And so I'll use cross multiplication. And so 35n equals 28 times 100. I'll divide both sides by 35. And I'll note, 35. I will note that 28 is 4 times 7. And 100 is 20 times 5. And 35 is 7 times 5. So these will go away. And I get 80. Let's look at another one here. So I have 120 is what percent of 360? Now notice my of links the percent and the base. And then on the other side of the is the amount. So my amount is 120, my base is 360, and that's equal to my percent divided by 100. Now I want to simplify this side first. The powers of 10 will cancel, and I should note that 12 goes into 36 3 times, so 1/3 equals P over 100. Now I'm going to cross multiply. So 3 times P is equal to 1 times 100. Or P is equal to 100 divided by 3. 3 goes into 10 3 times with a remainder of 1. And I'll get a repeating decimal. So we can say 33.33%. However many decimal places we need, this will repeat. And let's look at another one. We'll notice we're looking at all the different options we can get with what is the known and the unknown. What number is 95% of 75? Here's my is. The of links the base and the percent. And so this is my amount. So my amount over my base is equal to 95 over 100. I will cross multiply. 100A equals 95 times 75. I'll divide both sides by 100. And then now I'll try to find common factors. Well, I notice that this is 3 times 25, and this is 4 times 25. So if I write this as 95 times 3 times 25, and this as 4 times 25, these will cancel, and I get 95 times 3 divided by 4. Now, what is 95 times 3? So, run to the calculator at this point, but since I'm on a screen here, I'll do it this way. All right, 285. So I'll divide 285 by 4. 4 goes into 28 7 times. Once. Twice. 5. Again, use your calculator. And so our amount is 71.25. And let me clear my whiteboard here. Sorry for my mail noise. All right, let's look at another example. What number is 60% of 55? There's my percent, which links my base. And so this is my amount. So my amount over my base is equal to my percent over 100. Cross multiplying. 100A is equal to 60 times 55. I will divide both sides by 100. And let's see. Well, I know the 10, whoops, we'll cancel one of the zeros here. And then both of these are divisible by 5. So 5 times 11 and 5 times 2. So I get 11 halves. And if I do the division, that goes into there 5.5 times. And so my amount is 5.5. All right, let's look at two more. %45 of what number is 36? Again, the of links the base and the percent, and the is has the amount on the other side of what those other ones were. So my amount is 36 of my unknown number is equal to 45 over 100. I'll cross multiply. 45n is equal to 36 times 100. I'll divide both sides by 45. And, well, that's divisible by 9, so that's 4 times 9. And this is divisible by 5, so that's 5 times 20. And this is 5 times 9. So these cancel. And I have 4 times 20, or 80. One more example of proportions. What percent of 120 is 78? Again, the is has my amount on one side. The of links my percent and base. So I have 78 for my amount, 120 for my base, is my percent over 100. I'll cross multiply. So 120p equals 78 times 100. I'll divide both sides by 120. drop a 10 here. And then I kind of have to look for common factors here. I know both of these are divisible by 2, so I'll get a 5 here, and that drops that down to 6. Both of these are divisible by 2, so it'll leave me with a 3, and that's, what, 39. So I get, and 39 is divisible by 3, so that's, what, 13 times 5, or 5, carry my 1, 65. And so my percent is 65%. Now again, you've got a calculator here. I have to do things on the screen, so I try to use all my fractions to make it easier for me. All right, we'll continue looking at how percentages display themselves.